Hello everyone, and welcome to my reaction to Demon Slayer Season 3, the finale. And I can tell you my score in advance. It's gonna be a 10. I'm kidding. I did not give every episode in the season a 10. There were some 9.8s. I think there was one 9. As you know, I'm pretty biased for the show. I love it a lot. But who knows? Maybe something happens and then I give it an 8.9 today. Yeah, so since it's 52 minutes and I still have to stream after this, I'm gonna jump straight in. I have Sylvie here with me. She just popped up. Do you want to sit on my lap or here in front of me? Do you want to also watch? Because Mitsuri is just the best, right? You also want to see her? Okay. And I got some iced coffee, but we didn't have milk. Usually we have so much milk because we don't want to run out of milk, and today we didn't have milk because it was just a busy day. We went to the escape room for Joey's birthday and everything. So I put some cream. It's very thick. That's what she said. Okay, anyway, sorry. Oh my god, he learned from his bestie! Nezuko. Eat him! Bite him! Bite his face! Oh, what a nice angle. Can I just see something again? I love that angle. Oh, I love that he caused him like that. Wow, someone has a good throw. One last time. But I feel bad about this. I feel like there's something. What if there's a little one inside the big one, like a Russian doll, you know? No. Oh shit. Because there's a little one inside the big one. Oh, fuck. Stick her in your belly. Oh, this is so difficult. Do you save the one you love or the people you don't know? You want to save everyone, but why doesn't... Oh, this is so difficult. Oh, the anxiety breathing. I wouldn't be able to leave my sister. She's never done anything wrong. She might be a demon, but she's made the choice for you. But wasn't this whole journey for her? I mean, I know it's about saving the world and stuff, but... Is it the adrenaline that's helping him run right now? Because... But Nezuko... I feel really bad for his human self. And I stopped. I stopped feeling bad for him. He killed a blind man for holding a blind man accountable. Okay. I wouldn't even mind if they pulled some fairy tale friendship saves everything moment. Was she? Maybe she's a special demon that... That's what I was saying. Everything was for her. Maybe... Maybe... Was she turned back somehow because she's special? Was that always the way? Wait, her eyes... How? Ohayo. I don't care how, I'm so happy. How? Is it real? Is it real? Poker face. How? Nah. How? Maybe she's the same as him? Or but how? I don't know how, but... Just in time. But Nezuko, how? I'm so... I can't believe that Zenitsu's moves got him that far. And then I thought Nezuko, but I couldn't imagine the show without her, so I was like, I kept holding on like something, you know. Fairy Tail had like 10 times in the finale. Oh, they're dead. No, they're not. Oh, they're dead. No, they're not. And this show is like, you never know. So I was just holding on to the idea, like, in some way she's unique, or, you know, she's not like the others. There's, maybe because she hasn't eaten human flesh yet. So, that could be. I'm so happy because I can't imagine the show without her. Because she didn't eat human flesh though, so I saw that coming. Yep, I was like, girl, you're dead. No, my dude, I don't think so. I have to say, I like how it links up to his whole goal this whole time for 1,000 years has been to overcome the sun. And here Nezuko has done that, but in my mind, most likely through, well, the fact that she's different because she doesn't do things the way he does things. I don't think that he will overcome the sun by eating her. Let me just tell you that. Maybe killing was the trigger. Like, maybe it was some kind of spell, curse kind of thing. You couldn't go out in the sun. Whoa, the first demon. That's pretty cool. Like instinctive. Whoa, that looked so cool. Oh, I love that we're getting the origin of the first demon. You think, you don't know. You assume. So, one thing that I really like about this is that it reveals so much, you know? Because a lot of people, like even in this season, I was talking about it, a lot of people complain because we don't get an explanation for powers, for the powers that they have. So, this gives us a lot of theories. For example, like, okay, so we know other shows have explanations for power, like chakra or chi or nen or this power, that power, but it's still based in like magic. It gives us a reason for why human beings have power. Like, okay, with My Academia, there's also this still an ongoing theory about suddenly people mutated or changed and more people got this. There's still not they still haven't got further like what caused it. But it's like that in most shows. Like, even if we get a reason for why characters have magic powers or supernatural powers, it's still based in, like, it's still fiction, right? And that's why I said it didn't bother me here, because whether we get a magical reason or we don't get a magical reason, like, it's still magical powers. I don't care, as long as, you know, it has its own... The powers exist, we accept that, it's part of the story, and it has its own limitations and limits, or kind of like a formula, like with the breathing, like there's still techniques and stuff behind it. But this gives us so much, because I would assume, okay, so there was like a witch doctor, whatever guy, and that's especially interesting for me because we actually do have witch doctors in our country. There's a lot of people that strongly believe in it, and they use witch doctors for help with finances and help to find love and all these kinds of things. And in many cases, it works for them, whether it's coincidence or just self-belief, like placebo effect. I don't know. I haven't looked into these things much, but anyway. So it's a cool link for me, right? There was some kind of, whether he was a witch doctor or whatever, he used magic and herbs and stuff, and he cultivated this sickly person's body, and in my mind, potentially due to the fact that he murdered this guy, that was because in witch doctor craft or whatever in my country, sometimes you have to kill children. Like, that is, it's obviously not every witch doctor does this, but there are certain spells and stuff that requires like the brain of a child or the something you have to sacrifice this to do this. It's all kind of weird stuff. Once again, not every witch doctor, but yeah, there's prevalent crime where this happens, where children go missing because of people are sacrificing them for these. Okay, so anyway, so he killed someone, and to me that was like the final trigger that this medicine was supposed to work, and then it worked. It turned him into a demon. So that's the origin story for the original demon. And then he had an instinctive feeling, like a lot of us, for example, are afraid of the dark since we're little because it's unknown, or we have, or maybe there's lots of things we are afraid of because you just know. And even cats are born with instincts. You don't have to teach a cat to do a certain thing when, like, they just know. Okay, so instinctively he knew he couldn't touch the sun, and he maybe lived a couple of 10, 20, 30 years going about testing, first just eating people because he got that flesh desire, and then he probably, you know, when you experiment and stuff, and he ended up turning one person into a demon, and then more and more and more, because he was his goal for 1,000 years has been either the spider lily medicine that he needs to learn how to make, or find one of his kin that can overcome, like, the sun, which even in our, like, each generation builds on the lost, right? Like 200 years ago people couldn't go to the moon, but then the next generation wants to go, and the next generation, and everyone tries. But this is obviously a little bit different, but you get what I'm saying. Like, each generation builds on the lost, and finally someone was born who found a way to go to the moon, or found the cure for cancer, or, like, you know, by building, maybe in our case it would be building on research and stuff from previous, but this is obviously a fantasy. So for some reason, and I think it's because not having not eaten an innocent or any human flesh, as far as I can remember, having not eaten any human flesh or not killing any innocent people, she might actually be reversing the process of what turned him into a demon, which was all that medicine and then the action of killing. In my mind, is my theory, she and the Tanjiro, their process of trying to turn her back might like, they're trying to find a way, but just their way of doing things might be actually could turn her back, like regressing the process. So that's why number one is like shedding her skin. She burned, but because there was no her soul wasn't tainted by taking an innocent life, or becoming, you know, a cannibal, devouring human flesh. Her soul wasn't tainted. So instead of burning her like it would another with a tainted soul, another demon, she maybe shed her skin, and I'm hoping could be regressing the process and turning herself, because that's the end goal for Tanjiro, right? This guy's end goal is find a way to become the ultimate being by walking in the sun, but still being a demon. But their goal is to turn her back. And this is just, it just lines up so nicely, and I love it. Okay, sorry. Koko. Nigeru. Oh. Oh. You're just the cutest babies. I love her voice acting so much. Oh, I love that repeating line. Oh, it's so wholesome. My heart is so full.
12期月と禰豆子さんの血を提供し、研究に協力してくださってありがとう。浅草で無残に鬼化させられた男性が自我を取り戻しました。無残の支配からも解放され、少量の血で生きていられる。自我を取り戻すよりも重要で優先すべきことがあるの。
Like a mind block? Like a mind block, or like how your mind will like wow, they're laughing a lot downstairs. Like how your mind will hide, even like through trauma and stuff, it will hide certain information from you, maybe in order to like help you, because your mind thinks you're not ready to process this information, so and you can like blank out certain parts of your life even that way. So that it's like that, or like how I remember my math teacher told me like a lot of people keep themselves from understanding math because they have a mental block. And that's not to keep you safe, that's just you know, limiting yourself. So what I'm saying is our brains, our minds are very, very powerful, and it could be something like that. She's prioritizing something more than regaining herself. Chachamaru! I love theories. Tell me. Oh. So she knew it, that was going to happen for some reason, but I don't know why. But I'm still sticking to my theory here about why it's happening. I think she's regressing and maybe turning even back into a human or something. I don't know. Everyone worked together. I think she should be outside getting as much sun as possible. I'm just saying. Crazy bitches. Yo. Sayonara. Sayonara.
どうしたんですか? Tanjiro-san.
Oh, I have all the goosebumps. Oh, my son is being celebrated. He saved the village. Why does he not in the... Okay. His reward should be to know where it is. No, I was hoping to see Mitsuri one last time. Wow, gorgeous. Oh, that was a good moment. And he's so handsome. And I can't wait to learn more about that. So, one other thing I wanted to say was, I would take it even further, like how that doctor made the theory behind how the doctor made the first demon in order to save it. The intention of the spell or whatever was to save this man's life, right? He was obviously very well off or something, had a lot of money or some lord or... Then that was the birth of the first demon. And then probably in order to counter that first demon and those that he made, other people developed special abilities and techniques, maybe through medicine or this or that or blah blah blah, similar spells or rituals, traditions, to cultivate a kind of power within certain family lines. And that's why, because Muichiro, he was from one of those lines, right? And he had like an inherent, and it looks like Tanjiro also had some stuff passed down, and like maybe. So it obviously doesn't happen overnight where you just learn the moves. Even the first demon was created through probably years, maybe since he was even a child, of drinking that medicine. And he said, oh, you won't make it to 20. So let's say he's been sick since birth, and that doctor has tried to keep him alive and tried to save him through these witchcrafty type methods, and then the trigger, the death. But now, obviously, what I'm saying is, the demon slayers or the swordsmen who can stand against the demons who were made from the original demon, they might have had other techniques and spells. Not spells, but you know what I'm saying, like medicines or training techniques and to awaken certain powers, and you know what I'm saying? And each one developed their own breathing techniques and like which added to their power. And I don't know, but what I'm saying is there's a lot of this episode with the history gave us a lot of potential theories for everything. I never felt the need for those kind of things personally, because whether I get the reason for magic powers or not, it's still magic powers through magic means. But it's still interesting to be able to theorize. Like, it adds a level of enjoyment for me to the show, because I like to make theories, and I'm not actually the kind of person, like, I like analyzing and stuff, and then sometimes I pick up on things and sometimes other things go over my head entirely. But so what I'm saying is I don't theorize all that much. It's just sometimes I put things together and then it kind of reveals itself. But this adds a level of enjoyment that I don't have for many anime, which is theorizing. Wow. That was awesome. I would say if I compared the first part, it started off a little bit like by Demon Slayer standards, it started off a bit rocky. Like, it didn't have the best, it was right there it didn't have the best slow build up for me. It was like right there, and I don't know, I wasn't there yet, and then it was there, and then it was like, but then from around, let's say maybe 13 minutes, that's when the build up really, and from Nezuko, what happened to Nezuko, that's when everything really, and from there it was about like a 9.5 to 10 for me all the way through. Yeah. The beginning was like an 8.8 to 8.5 by Demon Slayer standards, and then it became 9.5 to 10 all the way through. So I would say overall for season 3. Well, first for this episode, it's difficult because that the first 10 minutes, I mean, it's kind of overshadowed by the last 40 minutes. So I'd give it an overall, and also like I have to compare it to I'd give it an overall 9.8, and that's being very, even, for me, like, I would say the story was like it had mostly 10 parts, but in the beginning, so I'd give it like, I can't break it down. I just think it's an overall 9.8, but that's me being super strict by my own standards for Demon Slayer once again. And if we had to give an average score, we have 10, 8.4, which is the lowest score of the season, 10, 9.9, 10.2, because the visuals were an 11, 9.8, 10, 10, 10, 9.8, 9.8. And this is, once again, I want to remind you, my standards for Demon Slayer. I would say an overall 9.10 for the season. There were some small things that I think they could have, mainly Mitsuri's, I would have loved a little bit more exposition on Mitsuri's character and stuff. Overall, it's basically a 10. So let me just see here. So we have sort by start date, I guess. So Demon Slayer Season 1 was a 10 out of 10. It was the perfect debut to a show for me. Then the movie Mugen Train, 9.5. The Mugen Train arc as a whole was a 9.3. I don't remember why. I'd have to rewatch it. I don't remember why, because 9.3. Okay, but I guess I had my reasons. I'd have to rewatch my reactions to understand why I didn't give it a 9.5 or higher. Okay, but then this was Demon Slayer yeah, so it was separate. The Mugen Train arc and the Entertainment District arc, it was one season, right, but two separate arcs. I don't know, because this is season 3, so I think this was one season. So the episodes is a 9.3, and then for Entertainment District 9.7. It was very flashy, very exciting. The villains in that better than the villains in this season, probably, definitely actually. But based on personal likability and relatability, I enjoyed the Hashira of this arc more than the Hashira of this arc, so I think that's where that 9.8 difference comes from. But at the end of the day, you round up everything and it's almost everything's a 10. This one would be a 9, but okay, those are my thoughts, and those are my final scores. I feel like I have more to say, but I also don't, because I need to rewatch everything, and just, it was so enjoyable, and the characters were just so, and the manga, I really enjoyed the manga as well. For me, I feel like it's a very unique shonen because it doesn't have, like what a lot of shonen have is that it has a very boyish feel to it. I love shonen because of the messages of, there's always, often, lots of things about the MC's sense of justice. They're usually very just characters. But, you know, I'm aware when I'm watching a shonen, it's a show that's primarily aimed at young kids, young boys, and to men, whatever. And that doesn't mean girls can't watch it, but, you know. But, and shonen have a very specific formula, and I can always feel when I'm watching a shonen, and I love that because I love shonen. But, and shonen jump type shows, okay? So, I love the formula, and I watch it because I almost always know what I'm going to get. But each one obviously has things that it does uniquely. And interestingly enough, Demon Slayer for me doesn't feel like, I don't get the same vibe where I get, oh, I understand. Like, it's just something in the back of my head. Like, as a shonen, it's aimed at young boys, or because shonen means a young boy, right? Doesn't mean that's the only people who can watch it, but I just always have this thing in my mind, like, I know who this was made for. And somehow, Demon Slayer, it erases that small knowledge in my head. Like, it's not there. It doesn't feel to me like this was made. It's a shonen because of the themes, I'm sure, and it's in Shonen Jump. So, is it? Yes. But it doesn't feel to me like a shonen. It feels to me like it has a different formula or something, a different, I don't know, I can't put it into words at this point, but it does something a little differently where I don't feel that, you know. So I really like that, what it does differently. I really like its focus points. It's very character driven, meant to, like, you know, even if it's not for a whole, you don't have to get the whole backstory about this villain, this guy, about he was this blind man, but it gives you, that was the part that almost made me cry. Like, I felt incredibly sad, not pity for, oh, you poor man, but just incredibly sad at the reality of life. Like, this is something that also happens. And I felt like a sadness, because sometimes what if you're just born into a life where, I'm not saying he didn't have any other choices. Of course he had other choices. There was even another blind man that berated him for, you know, what he was doing to someone that was good to them. You know, sometimes you don't have that sense of justice, that sense of right and wrong, and then you make bad choices, and it's also sad. It's not sad in the real life, especially not when you, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's, when you think of the real people who were killed by other people who made bad choices, it's not as easy for me to feel sad for those people, because my capacity for sadness is always reserved for the victims, the families of the victims, you know. But this helps me, because there are no real victims in the sense that they're fictional characters. I could feel a deep sadness also for this lost human being, you know. Had no one there to show them the right way, to impart onto them a sense of justice, and he just, but then that guy's words about how you will be, even if you silence me now, you will be held accountable one day, and Tanjiro was there to hold him accountable. Doesn't take away the people that he killed, but it's just something, wow, that's what I'm saying. It's a character-driven story for me where even in short, small backstories, I can really get a sense of understanding from real emotions, real tragedies. I don't know how to explain it. But that's one of the things that I really love about the show. It has like a little bit of a different. It does things a little bit differently. And it still has it's still shonen at heart. It still has everything it needs to be a shonen. It's still a shonen. But what I'm saying is something about it, that knowledge just kind of melts away when I'm watching, and that it's different somehow. And that's why I'm biased for the show. So I'm just trying to impart how I feel about it so that maybe, oh, okay, that's cool. You see things from this perspective, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to see if my friends are still downstairs. Maybe I can just make it to say goodbye to them. They're going to watch it tomorrow, this episode, so I won't spoil them. And yeah, thank you. Let me know what you guys thought about everything. I'll see you next time. Bye.